All right, we're watching Revenge of the Sith. I think any version is going to sync up perfectly well, so let's give it a go.
All right, in 3, 2, 1.
20th
Century.
Fox. Lucas.
It's Lucasfilms would be one word.
Limited. All right.
Okay, big money. Here we go.
A.
Long.
Time.
Ago.
In. Galaxy.
Far.
Far.
Away.
Star.
Wars.
Star Wars with a Z.
So all the stars are weirdly flickering.
Yeah, it might just be the TV. Episode
3
Revenge
of
the
Sith.
War.
The
Republic
is
crumbling
under
attacks
by
the
ruthless
Sith
Lord
Count.
Dooku.
There
Are
heroes
on
both
sides.
evil
Is
everywhere.
in
A
stunning
move
the
fiendish
droid
leader
General
Grievous
has
swept
into
the
Republic
capital,
and
kidnapped
Chancellor
Palpatine
leader
of
the
Galactic
Senate.
as
The
separatist
droid
army
attempts
to
flee
the
besieged
capital.
with
Their
valuable
hostage
2
Jedi
knights.
lead
A
desperate
mission
to
rescue
the
captive.
Chancellor.
Fucking nailed it. ...
4 dots this time.
Do they have different dots?
They do, yeah.
Yeah, they
sometimes,
do.
sometimes the ellipses is only 3, sometimes it's 4.
I never noticed that.
Yeah.
I always thought it was 3.
Well, that's traditional in writing, but we don't play by the rules here at Lucasfilm.
This is like my favorite opening to any Star Wars film.
It's up there.
Nah, it just is number 1. You can't tell me otherwise.
I do like A New Hope's, though.
Yeah, that one's good, but this one hits different.
Yeah. It's the most action-packed, for sure.
Well, and it does a lot of like world building in only a couple shots because you kind of see the like coordination of the pilots, and then you kind of get the idea of like, oh, this is big battle.
Yeah, you get the scale, too. And also, it just looks really good.
Yeah.
Like, for 2005,
It really
CGI
does
stuff
hold
like
up.
this is fantastic.
I think it's because it's so wide. Like you're not really close up on any of the ships or anything.
But you do get pretty close.
Yeah, well, yeah, right there for one.
Yeah, and it's all, like, one big shot, too. Like, I don't think
Yeah.
there's any cuts until it gets to, like, being in the cockpit.
Yeah, it is a good oneer. It also, like, those ships look so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Because you got to think, too, like, the last thing that you saw in Star Wars at that time was the end of Return of the Jedi. Or not Return of the Jedi. Attack of the Clones. And the last thing was Padme and Anakin getting married. And all of a sudden you're shoved into gigantic war.
Well, the opening crawl sets it up perfectly by starting with war.
Yeah.
Usually they're more subtle than that.
But even like you get the visual storytelling of like Anakin, he's got the scar and he's older and he's got better hair.
Yeah.
And Obi-Wan got rid of the mullet.
They were going to have Anakin with the mullet in this. There was some plans for that. I saw some makeup tests when I was doing my research.
I had that ship, or I had those ships, whatever they are, Arc Fighters.
Yeah.
I had them as a Lego set.
Yeah. I had the Jedi Interceptors. I had Anakin's. I think it was the 2014 one. Yeah. Also, I love the great big capital ships that they have.
Yeah, they
Like
are
both
cool.
the Separatist ones, the big droid Federation ones, and also the Venator class Star Destroyers.
Well, the Separatists ships visually make way more sense than the Republic's.
Well, the Republic ones are like, they're basically precursors to the ones we see in the original Star Wars.
For sure.
So they're kind of got an older kind of design language.
But I just mean like from a practicality standpoint, for like what these spaceships would be designed for and what they're doing.
Yeah.
The Separatist ones make way more sense.
Well, yeah, they also have like 20 years worth of sci-fi knowledge to build off of.
Yeah.
Because like the Republic ones are based on ships from the 70s that were designed in the 1970s, so they're gonna have that kind of look to them. Whereas these ones are from the 90s and 2000s, where we have a better understanding how space works.
Yeah, well, that's fair. Because like the idea of like the bridge and everything on the the Republic side just seems so exposed. Like, you're literally, like, it's such an obvious target.
Yeah.
Good old Anakin loves spinning.
That's a good trick. Yeah. I do like how this movie opens with a lot of just Anakin and Obi-Wan being together. It really solidifies their friendship that I think the other movie failed to do. At least to the same extent.
Yeah, the buzz droids are also the stuff of nightmares.
These are so annoying, these guys. Neat designs, how they kind of form into balls and stuff like little Bakugans. But they would be a nuisance.
Well, they're like a pretty good weapon, too. Like, you just kind of chuck them at a ship and they just crawl around destroying things. Like, so they'd be good against, individual ships like this, but they'd also even be good against the big ships.
Yeah, they're like a pest in space.
Imagine the movie starts by Anakin just killing Obi-Wan. Blows up his ship.
Yeah. Yeah. I like how they try to build some tension in this, but like we all know Obi-Wan's like the one person that's gonna make it out of this movie alive and unharmed.
Well, he only gets slightly harmed.
Mm-hmm. I like their headsets; those are pretty cool.
He gets some emotional damage.
Emotional, yeah. He's unwell up in the head.
They even give R2 an action set piece.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this movie really served a lot of the characters really well, with the exception of like C-3PO. I think he's the only one from the other movies that gets kind of sidelined in this.
Yeah, but C-3PO got his time to shine in episode 1.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, if it's this easy for them to just disable the shields, why is it not super easy to just destroy these ships?
Well, I don't know. I was gonna say something clever, but it wasn't that clever.
Also, how did those droids even stay in the ship if the vacuum of space started sucking out everything into space? Do they have magnetic feet? I guess it's not like they need oxygen in their ships, even technically.
Maybe they just held on to stuff. No, there's a lot of segments that are cut out of this movie.
Especially at the opening.
Yeah, there's a good like 40 minutes worth of deleted scenes that I watched in anticipation of this. And a lot of them is just Obi-Wan and Anakin bumbling around on the ship.
Well, because they find what's her face?
Yeah, Shock T is on the
T's
ship.
there. They like run around in the like sewage of the ship or whatever, the water.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't really understand that because everyone on this ship is freaking robots.
Pretty much, yeah.
Except for
except for this captain here.
Yeah.
And Grievous's organs. I love the Neimoidians. They're so cool. They're pathetic, but they're so cool.
Well, and doing them practically too. Like
And the progress from like 1999 to now to this movie, like the lip syncing especially is improved greatly. Yeah, I think we're at full jokey mode with these droids.
Well, like, it doesn't even make sense why they wouldn't just, kill them while the droids, other droids are shooting at them, like shoot them in the back. I don't know.
Yeah, why even let them like get into the elevator?
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Or like, if you're not gonna kill them, just take them alive. You just start jumping on them.
Yeah. Yeah, there's even one deleted scene where Anakin like makes an R2-D2 noise. It's cringy. It's awful. I don't like it. It feels like I watched the deleted scenes, and it feels like a short episode of the Clone Wars, almost. Like an early episode, like season 1, basically. It's that kind of banter and that kind of goofiness. Not that it's bad. Like, that kind of thing fits the tone of that show, but for a movie that gets as dark as this one gets, it's not a good idea to start it with goofiness.
Yeah, that is true. The thing too, I know it's like for like the joke or whatever, and like dealing with R2 and the comm links and whatever, but like you would think R2 has a comm link built into his freaking head.
Yeah, he's a robot. You shouldn't have to have like an auditory device to hear things. It should just be like message in his head.
Well, and like they talk to him while he's in a ship. Like you would think that it just works the same way as that.
He shouldn't need a walkie-talkie. He should just be a walkie-talkie.
Like you should be able to even like talk to other people through R2 in theory.
Mm-hmm. In theory, yeah.
Yeah, they really play the droids for laughs.
Kind of works. Gets a laugh out of us, but yeah, I don't think it's...
Because even yelling my eyes. You don't have eyes.
Yeah. I don't know.
It really does establish their friendship, though, with the banter. Mm-hmm. Also, R2 just roasting these guys alive in the most dark way possible.
Yeah. We're one of you. Beep, beep, beep. I don't care.
I have a certain set of skills. Yeah, one would think that that's a hint.
I like how they built a throne room to hold Chancellor Palpatine hostage in. Unless it's like Count Dooku's personal chair or whatever, but why does it have straps on it? Well, maybe he's into that.
Maybe he's into that.
Yeah, so
I was thinking.
Yeah. Where's a Clone Wars episode about Count Dooku's BDSM dungeon? I guess we kind of get that with that like Maze Runner kind of.
Well, we did make the joke about him lobotomizing Obi-Wan, so maybe that's what he's into. That's the surgery chair.
This is a surgery chair. Yeah.
See, it's what they're into.
Mm-hmm. I like how when they meet Chancellor Palpatine, he's just like Count Dooku. Doesn't elaborate any further. They just know what it means. I like he's hyping him up. He's like, "It's my apprentice. He's a Sith Lord."
Oh man, they really could not have casted Dooku any better than they did.
No, he's good. Like Christopher Lee is an excellent.
He
choice.
brings a lot of class to the character.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what it would have been like acting across from him in Star Wars.
Oh,
like he would have been just kind of finishing up Lord of the Rings as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So like it must be because he's just such a big name actor.
Yeah. Well, I was watching some of the behind the scenes stuff, and Christopher Lee was really impressed with Ewan McGregor. Like he had a lot of nice things to say about him. But I don't know how what other people thought of working with him specifically. I'm sure they all had a good time.
Well, he just adds a lot. I feel like he just oozes class.
Class is just coming out his ears. Yeah.
Because like he's just not someone that I feel like you would expect to be in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like it's kind of what I was saying about like Samuel L. Jackson. Like it just feels weird that he's there, but like at the same time, it's just like awesome that he is.
Yeah, it feels like so natural because we've seen these movies 1,000 times. But if you take a step back, it's kind of like, really, they're in this movie.
Because now I'm just imagining, like, what if you got like Ian McKellen as Count Dooku?
I don't think it'd be the same. I don't know if he could pull off evil as well as Christopher Lee could. Maybe he probably. Well, he could. He's a good actor. He probably did it, but
he really kills it on losing his hands there too.
Yeah. Knowing him, he's probably seen a guy get his hand chopped off.
That's not how someone reacts when they lose their hands.
I killed a German Luftwaffe officer by chopping his hands off for the propeller. I'm sure he has some sort of story like that.
Or even here where he's just like, do it.
That's like genuine terror.
Or like even I'm just imagining him being like, that's not how someone's body would fall if they got decapitated.
Yeah.
I was there in France when the last man was executed.
And George is just like, yeah, well, this is PG-13. We're aiming for.
I mean, you see the head roll. Like, you literally see it fall and roll
You see
away.
the hands drop off and just lay there limply.
Yeah, thankfully they don't keep those around, but like, they should be there.
Yeah.
Also, Anakin so nonchalantly just dismembered this other person and is like, nah, this is fine.
I'm a completely well-adjusted individual.
Like, literally, like, his corpse is just there. You can see the head!
Yeah, these aren't exactly the reactions you'd imagine these people to have.
No, he's like, oh, I gotta check out Obi-Wan. Also, how is Obi-Wan's femurs not just crushed to dust?
Yeah, like, I don't know, the Force. Yeah, he should have broken legs. He should be in a wheelchair for the rest of the movie.
General Grievous looks so cool.
He's amazing. They went through a lot of different designs for that character.
What used, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and even these the Magma Guards, those were original designs for General
they
Grievous.
like are never brought up again.
They look so cool. Oh, Wilhelm scream. A lot of this movie takes place on the ship. It's kind of like Return of the Jedi, how so much of it takes place on like the Jabba stuff. Actually, the original voice choice for General Grievous was Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman is
Yeah.
General Grievous.
Yeah.
Who does General Grievous?
Oh, I forgot the guy's name.
Because I have no idea.
But he was like a sound editor for the movie. But yeah, Gary Oldman, he didn't do it because this movie's not union. He was like, well, I'm part of the union. I can't really, do this or do that.
Wait, this movie isn't unionized?
No, none of the Star Wars movies are.
Huh.
Because of all that like debate with like the credits at the start of the movie. Back in like the 70s. So George was just like, I'm not dealing with any of this. So none of the Star Wars movies were a union.
That's actually a really big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I would assume they're union now.
Well, yeah, probably. I'm sure they worked all that out, but like all of them up until this point weren't. I'm sure George was pretty fair with dealing with all his employees, but still, like, he wasn't cracking the whip.
No, sure, but
yeah.
like, it's a big deal, especially then, for these to not be union films. Because like, they're not small productions.
No, these are the biggest like independent movies ever made.
And like, even for some of these actors, like Ian McKellen, or not Ian McKellen, Ian McDermott,
Yeah.
or Ewan McGregor to be working on these, like, that's probably a big deal for them too.
Yeah.
Although I guess at this point that like Ian McKellen was a more smaller actor.
Yeah, Ewan McGregor hadn't done a whole lot before
And
Star Wars. And
I guess Ian McDermott too had like already done Star Wars before.
yeah, he got to start on Star Wars.
So I guess it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
But even say like Liam Neeson to do this would be a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
They should have been in hallway A113.
Yeah, that would make a good reference. Yeah.
That would have been funny.
I like that line.
Yeah.
It's applicable for a lot of things. I'm so glad that the Emperor of the Universe got to witness that.
Yeah.
Like, if you take a step back and see all the characters that are in this movie, it's so bizarre.
Yeah, like the actual Sith Lord of like the whole thing is just there for R2 to come running into a wall.
Yeah. I think this movie's got like every character from like the original trilogy except Han Solo in it.
Yeah, I guess technically.
Like pretty much like.
Although, isn't the Millennium Falcon in the background of one of these shots?
I think it's in the background of like episode 2 or something like that. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was in the background of this.
Oh, it might be. I don't remember. But I don't think Han Solo was on it. He would have been too young.
I like that for all the other media that like they had to make sure that Anakin and General Grievous never met.
To fit up with that line, even though it's like they didn't bother to do the same thing with the Count Dooku stuff. They're like, oh yeah, they met like 2 weeks before this, and he's like, oh my, I've doubled since last we met, I don't know. That feels a bit
Vague.
retconny just for the sake of it.
A fine addition to my collection. Their plan here is honestly not very good.
Make a distraction, steal a lightsaber, run, I guess.
Like, fight their way out, but, like, in theory, they were captured by, you know, a lot of droids. You would think those droids would still be around.
Yeah.
And there's only so many droids that they can fight.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, I don't know. It just seems kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the most well-executed plan.
Yeah. And, like, if they kill everyone on the bridge, like, do they just pilot the ship themselves? Like,
Well, they end up doing that anyway.
well,
so
that's
I
what
guess,
they have to do, yeah. But, like, was that their plan? Also, what's Grievous doing when all this is happening? He's just,
You're just standing watching.
yeah. He's like, I got 2 lightsabers, but I'm not gonna do anything. He's like the ideal delegator. He's also such a coward too. Like, the first opportunity he takes, he escapes.
I mean, he escapes in a pretty baller way.
Well, yeah, he just like Indiana Jones up the side of the wall or whatever. Palpatine's O-face.
Palpatine's always. What are you trying to give Palpatine a yank it?
Yeah, he's getting sucked off into space.
Run!
They're not running very fast.
No, they aren't. And I like that Obi-Wan and Anakin are taking the time to cut them down.
Yeah. At least the
The Night Woody guys running too.
yeah, they don't kill those alien guys, but they're fully willing to kill any like retreating droid, even if that is a war crime.
Yeah, but Anakin and
Yeah.
Obi-Wan are known to
That's
commit
it. On
war
this,
crimes.
on this giant battleship, there's 5 escape pods. Freaking Titanic levels of safety. You know, I could definitely believe Anakin could pilot this.
Well, yeah, I don't doubt that. He's also got R2 there helping him.
Mm-hmm.
I just find it weird that the ship can break apart like that.
Well, like I said, Titanic.
I guess.
I wonder if that's like a deliberate reference. Classic line.
That is also a really funny line where it's just like, yeah, we lost something. Also, that other half of ship is totally crashing into the planet.
Yeah.
Like, so many people are probably dying from the debris falling on them.
Yeah, on this planet that is entirely a city.
Yeah, like, literally people were killed.
Yeah. I love
Like, look at all that debris. Like, that's flying and hitting people
Yeah.
or buildings.
Yeah. And we saw what happens when an asteroid hits into a planet. Like this should have caused the extinction of all humans in Star Wars.
Like, they clearly didn't think this part of the movie through.
Mm-hmm.
Also, these firefighter ships get there so fast.
Well, you know, there was a battle overhead. They were kind of preparing for it, I think.
Yeah, I guess.
I do love that attention, though, to like that kind of detail where it's like, oh yeah, these firefighters show up.
Imagine having that job where you have to fly next to ships while they're on fire crashing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really buzzed the tower here, too. Boom! Everyone in the tower died.
Yeah. Imagine R2 telling Luke he's like, just in a ship. Oh yeah, me, Darth Vader, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and the Emperor were just in a ship one time, and we crashed into a planet.
When we killed a bunch of people in a tower.
Yeah, the capital of the universe.
You've
Oh yeah,
never
this is the
seen-
scene that has the Falcon in it.
Yeah, I think so, isn't it? Like, it's there
Somewhere.
to, like...
yeah, there it
the-
goes.
Yeah.
ISO shadow. There it is.
Yeah, there it is landing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, like... I don't know. The ground seems pretty chill for an ongoing combat, like...
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
they're
this
all
is
just
the-
kind of hanging out. I don't know. Life goes on, I guess.
The war's over, Will. We don't have to worry about it. I love so many memes have been made of this.
Yeah.
Every like other line
Endlessly
I'm
memed.
giggling at.
I like that he doesn't argue the fact that he saved him a shitload. It's just that one time doesn't count.
Yeah. Yeah. There we go. All the politicians that Anakin gets to meet and not like, as he said in the other movie. I think that blue girl is George Lucas's daughter.
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't it also be retconned though that the big fat blue guy to the left, isn't he like commit like crimes and get arrested in Clone Wars?
Probably. That sounds familiar.
Am I thinking of someone else? But like, I'm pretty sure it's him.
Maybe.
Like he sells out his like planet or something, and they like arrest him.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Jar Jar.
Well, of course, Jar Jar's got to be kept around. He literally...
Also, those like feminine bots over there. Did you see him? Quite the difference from the C-3POs over there. Also, Anakin talking to Bail Organa feels kind of weird. I don't know why.
Yeah, it doesn't seem right.
Like it's something I can't accept happening, you know?
Wait, do they give her the same hair as Leia in the start of this film?
Kinda.
Because Leia has the weird side.
It's definitely intentionally reminiscent. It's not quite the same though.
Yeah, they really got married on a whim.
Yeah.
Like he, really wooed her by slaughtering an entire village, and then they went and were in a life or death scenario, and then they were like, "Yep, let's get married."
War does strange things to people.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Also, they're doing this way in the open, like just in the foyer of the Senate.
Yeah, I mean, Jar Jar is just standing there watching.
That's just what he does, though.
Well, and all of the politicians were like waiting to speak to Anakin, so they're just
Bail Organa is probably just like looking back, sees them making out, and he's like, "Oh well, I guess I gotta wait a little bit.
not gonna deal with that."
He's like, "I'm not going there. I'm gonna keep that to myself."
He also, I think Hayden Christensen gets way more hate than he should for his acting.
Mm-hmm. He's good in this.
Because even here, he goes through the right reaction for someone being told that they're pregnant.
Mm-hmm. He's really good in this movie. He's a lot better than the other one.
He's just given weird dialogue. I don't think it's on him, really.
No. And even the dialogue, it's not that weird. It's pretty good.
No, but it's just some of the things they say and how they say them is a bit, off.
It's a bit unnatural, but it still works.
Yeah, Star Wars dialogue has always been a little wonky.
Yeah.
It's such a good piece of music for no reason.
Yeah. Just this amazing, battle march. Utapau is a very unique planet design.
Yeah, it's also such a sick, city design that's literally shown, hardly at all.
Mm-hmm.
Were they just all big holes and,
Yeah.
caves?
Like how there's all these people here to meet Grievous and he just walks right past everyone. New Gunner is standing there like he's wanted to have a conversation. They just walked past him.
The way he said Mustafar there was real menacing.
Mustafar.
General Grievous, get rid of these people.
Honestly, General Grievous CGI is basically flawless here.
It looks really good, yeah.
That just looks perfect.
Mm-hmm. Well, also in these shots, there's basically nothing that's real except for
projected Ian McDiarmid through a filter.
Yeah. There's so much CGI in this movie, and a lot of it holds up really well.
Yeah, honestly, it really is just perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure, you could nitpick some things and the textures and stuff of this.
Yeah.
And maybe the lighting on the kind of background a bit, but it is really good.
Mm-hmm. Also, this is a different apartment from where they hang out later in the movie. I don't know if this is like Anakin's apartment or something, or like this is like.
No, this is the apartment. This is the apartment that she stays at in episode 2.
Then why did she have a new one later on?
Different part of the apartment.
No, because it doesn't fit the geography of the building. We just saw the exterior thing. I don't know.
I don't know. Promotion.
She just has 2 apartments.
Maybe the other one's Anakin's apartment.
Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. I'm probably overthinking this.
Probably.
I'm probably wrong. I'm probably.
It's actually the same. We're gonna find out later. No,
Yeah.
it can't be the same because he pulls up like right to the apartment in the ship.
Yeah. Has that big like outdoor.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense.
Doesn't fit.
Explain that.
Man, this is Jar Jar's apartment. That'll explain it. Or some hotel. Just staying.
Oh, what was that wipe? Did you see that? That was disgusting.
I missed it.
It was like 6 squares all stacked to each other, and then they all shrunk separately.
Yeah. This one they get a little carried away with the dissolves.
See, like that works. That's a good cut.
Yeah.
Also, Hayden Christensen looking yoked,
Oh yeah.
freaking jacked, man.
He looks good. Even with the grip of death he's got there. But yeah, the CGI on that the hand holds up really well too.
Yeah, you don't see the hand too much.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, well,
Oh, hey,
no,
hold
I
on.
guess it has to be the same apartment.
I guess so.
He walked over there. I guess I was right in that it's a different section.
Must be, but
Yeah, you're right though that the geography of the building makes no sense.
maybe it's lower down. Maybe it's like kind of below the other part. It must
on
be.
the other side of the shot.
Maybe. Because there's stairs there,
Yeah,
and they were on the top floor on the other one, so it must be.
I guess.
I need a diagram drawn. I'll get a guy on Fiverr to do me a drawing of.
Like
Hey,
the architectural.
That's a poor snippet.
Yeah, I know you saw it earlier.
Yeah, that's a classic piece of jewelry.
Also, like the detail though that like literally traffic never stops on Coruscant. Like there's always people going.
Yeah, it's like 2 a.m. and there's.
Well, because like presumably like time on these planets would be very irrelevant to people.
It would, yeah, wouldn't
Like
it?
time zones really wouldn't be a thing. Because like you're coming and going so much from different planets and things like that you probably don't care about jet lag.
Well, and the whole city's like one planet, right? So, or what? The whole city, one planet. Other way around.
Yeah.
Whole planet's one city.
So like time zones don't really work. Mm-hmm. Like I mean, they would have to have time zones, I guess, in some sort of sense, but
Maybe it's all based around like one specific part of the city. Like, oh, it's the Senate Standard Time, or something like that.
well, especially because like, let's say you're right on the like halfway point of the planet where you're kind of in like a weird section.
Yeah,
Like you're gonna have some weird time issues.
yeah. When do restaurants close?
Yeah.
Of course not. I guess they just go by the sun. That must be what they do. Also, I love how this is what we're talking about when there's this like deep emotional moment going on.
Yeah, but we don't care about the deep emotional moment. We care about the inner workings of Coruscant.
Anakin's like, I saw a vision where you died, and I need to like go on this quest so that doesn't happen. I need to conquer the galaxy to make sure you stay alive. And we're just like, what about time zones? Also, I love the lighting in this. It's almost like noir with like the blinds casting the shadows over their faces.
Yoda really doesn't help him here at all.
No, he's useless.
Like Anakin's literally coming to him, being like, "Yeah, I sense someone that's very important to me is about to die," and Yoda's like, "Yeah, just ignore it."
Care I do not. Ignore it, you must. He's less than useless. He's like actively causing more of a problem.
Yeah.
Die people do. Accept it you must. Be with them soon you will.
It's a really well lit scene, though.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Wait, was that Ahmed Best?
Let's not start that again. I love how that projector just kind of broke down almost the way it stopped projecting.
Yeah, the Jedi always talk about being neutral and that they like don't bother with the politics, but they really worry about all the politics.
Yeah, but yeah, they're very much like keeping an eye on Palpatine because they're like, "Oh, this guy's going to take as much power as he can and take advantage of every situation." Then,
Yeah, but like it's really not their problem as the Jedi.
well, no, not really, but they kind of made it their own problem.
I guess that's true.
Like they're watching this government just fall into totalitarianism, and they are trying to do stuff about it, but they're not very effective.
Well, they don't try very hard.
Yeah,
They're like, let's send one unhinged child to go deal with this.
yeah.
Well, not child, man-child.
Mm-hmm. There was a lot more to the scene that was cut.
Yeah, but I think what they have really is like
It's
the bare bones.
Yeah,
'Cause
this is
this
what
movie
you
could be
need.
dragging on.
Mm-hmm.
Like this movie moves with really good pace.
Yeah, but it's just a lot more of Anakin and Palpatine talking to each other and expressing their feelings. But we get kind of the gist of it from what we have in the movie. Like, you don't need that stuff.
See, look at those wipes.
George got bored in his little Windows Movie Maker and he just started throwing these in. Also, Obi-Wan's sitting there with the the leg up.
But we do not rank you the rank of master.
I love that little dinosaur head's in shot. Like, that feels so pointless to be there.
Yeah, but I guess it's the geography of the room. Also, that looks like the Burj Khalifa behind Obi-Wan there. Did you see that in that shot?
Yeah, that, like, dark tower. Yeah.
Wait, isn't that a
The sky's
mistake?
not moving. Did you just see that? None of the cars are moving in the sky. They were frozen there for a second. Oh, here's our favorite 200-year-old.
Don't even start. We're recording this just after some of the Acolyte is released, and it's just we don't like this here.
The internet's not having a
Retcon.
good time. Yeah.
We are on the side of it was dumb, but whatever.
Neither of us have even seen the show.
Yeah. Yoda simultaneously looks really good and really bad.
Yeah, it's weird.
There's the Burj Khalifa again.
Yeah. Here's another one. I feel like we're enjoying this movie too much. We're just sitting here
I
not
just like
not
it.
talking.
It's
We're
a
just
good
watching
movie.
it.
I don't know what I got nothing.
We need more jokes. Let's start cracking wise.
I don't know. I don't have anything funny to say here.
Yeah, I was gonna make a joke about his clothes, but I've done that. That's been played out. Oh, look, he's wearing a towel again.
Yeah, he looks too clean though.
Where's the big stain? I need to see stains on these clothes.
It actually makes sense for them to be clean though in the Jedi Council.
Well, exactly. This is like
They got that
height of
Jedi
opulence.
glide training.
Yeah.
They got that Jedi dry cleaning service.
Hey, there you go. Yeah,
I was stroking out there.
you were struggling, man. You had a Porky Pig moment.
See, this movie moves really well with pacing. You got the big action part at the first. You got the setup with Padme and the dream.
Mm-hmm.
Then the dream, you go to him talking to Yoda.
Yeah.
Yoda gives him no help. Then you got the Chancellor fucking with the Jedi Council by promoting him to the Council.
Yeah.
And the Council insults Anakin in Anakin's opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Then Anakin complains to Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan then is like, hey, we need you to spy on the Chancellor, which absolutely shatters Anakin's worldview of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Being like, what the heck?
Yeah. It's very efficient.
Like, it really is paced well. Like, I don't know. And it gives you all the info that you need, and it all makes sense.
Mm-hmm. It flows a lot like The Empire Strikes Back, I find. Like, it almost feels like a middle act of a trilogy. But it's the conclusion, because it leads into another trilogy.
And honestly, in this works so well because, like, the council is asking him to go against the code, even though Yoda was literally just telling him, like, yeah, do this that follows the code.
Yeah.
So it makes sense why he'd be pissed.
Yeah, like, these people are hypocrites. Why should I listen to them? This is their dogmatic view, and it's useless in this day and age.
I like that Yoda's hair is flowing. Mm-hmm. Although Obi-Wan's is not, so...
And Sam Jackson's, well, we know.
Yeah, he's aerodynamic. Oh, wait, no, his hair's moving a bit. He's just probably put a lot of gel in there, apparently.
I want to see that video of the cow in the aerodynamic simulator. I want to see that with like, Sam Jackson's face. Someone make that, please. That look, he was just like, really?
And you got the music playing in there.
I like when they land, there's like a Wookiee that's waiting for them.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, he's clearly the diplomat that came to help them.
Yeah. Just such good detail in this movie. Like, all these little like things that you wouldn't think of, but someone thought of them.
Such a baller apartment.
Mm-hmm. This was actually some of the earliest stuff they filmed, was these scenes in this apartment.
I mean, you are, technically. They just wanted their own, independent government.
So, yeah, you guys are the oppressors. You're the
You are
establishment.
literally the villains to most of these people.
And you've done nothing to help the galaxy. Thank you, Padme.
The Separatists aren't even in the wrong. That's the funny part. Like, they actually have very reasonable wants and goals.
Yes.
It's just twisted by Count Dooku and Palpatine.
Yeah, their ends are right, but their means are not.
No. But that's
do not blockade a planet to get less
No, but
taxes
that's not
or
even
whatever.
really the start of the Separatists. That's the banking, or not the banking, that's the Trade Federation being assholes.
Yeah.
Like, it's really the Trade Federation also, and like the banking clan and everything, fucking with the, actual noble cause of some of these planets to be like, hey, we want to separate from the, the galactic empire.
Well, that's what you get when you have a whole TV show to kind of flesh out these ideas.
I know, that's why it works so well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Clone Wars is a really complicated, like, idea for a war. Like, it is...
It's politically, it's fucked.
It's, yeah.
Like, because the Separatists are technically, in my opinion, the ones that are in the right. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not an unreasonable thing to be like, hey, we want to leave the galactic...
Oh, there's Anthony Daniels again.
It's not an unreasonable thing to be like, hey, we want to leave the galactic Senate.
Oh, there's Biggie G right there. George Lucas himself.
Boy.
This has real Dune energy.
Actually, I was just about to say, this totally reminds me of Dune.
Especially the stuff on the Harkonnen homeworld.
Yeah. Do you think that's where they got the idea?
Probably not. But
no, but like for visually, do you think Denis Villeneuve was like,
He's like, yes, the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise. I will recreate it in my movie. Yes.
See, she even looks like she should be like a Mentat or something.
She looks like a Dune character, yeah.
Yeah, like that's a Dune character if I ever did see one.
That's a Barry Harkonnen if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, this whole set piece really feels like Dune.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I'm pretty sure they even go to an opera at one point in Dune. Like the whole conversation with the Baron and what's his face, Count Fenring. Like, isn't that at an opera? And then they like stand in like a secret like no listening area.
Something like that, yeah.
Like this actually is kind of very reminiscent of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it feels like it for sure.
Yeah, the context of this is really so interesting. Like after the fact that you're like, oh yeah, this is literally Emperor Palpatine.
Yeah, and he's had this influence over Anakin since he was like 10 years old. He's been shaping him and molding him into this person who's going to turn on the Jedi after achieving all their power.
Well, like even here, this is probably him using the Force to understand what Anakin is supposed to do, rather than like, I don't know. It really makes it more questionable when you think about it.
Well, yeah. Of course, Palpatine's going to do questionable things.
Yes, good old Star Wars and its point of views.
From my point of view.
From my point of view, the Jedi are evil. Well, from a certain point of view, you are lost.
So what I told you was true from a certain point of view. Yeah,
Some good close-ups in here for the cinematography too.
Yeah.
Like it really, like it starts wide and then pulls you into close-ups for the conversation.
And even these like wide shots are slowly zooming in.
Yeah, right.
Well.
Like they're all slowly getting tighter.
Did I ever tell you of the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise? No, you didn't. Yeah, this is such a good scene. Even with like the weird abstract actual opera that's going on.
And the like whole, not like retcon, but the idea that like Plagueis is his master. So Palpatine being like, yeah, you ever hear the story of my Sith master?
Yeah, he plays it off like it's some distant thing, but it's actually like
recent.
Yeah. This is like a first-hand account.
Yeah. Even though Anakin would know that. And honestly, none of the Jedi would even know the story of Darth Plagueis the Wise because no one would know that.
Yeah, no one would know this. Like it's not public knowledge.
Well, it would literally only be knowledge of Palpatine.
Pretty much, yeah. And I love that Anakin is so intrigued by this. Because this is exactly what he wants to hear.
It makes sense.
It's like the complete opposite of the Yoda conversation.
Yeah.
Where Yoda's just like, yeah, don't worry about it. Palpatine's just like...
Well, like even the whole thing of Yoda being like, "Don't worry about it," it's so dumb when you like now look at all the like Force heal abilities that everyone has now, and like it's just like, oh my god, why'd you do this, Disney? Why you do this?
Yeah,
like it even makes Qui-Gon Jinn dying seem stupid because then Obi-Wan could have just healed him, or even any of the other characters that have been stabbed through like with a lightsaber the exact same way that just all walk it off and are completely fine.
Yeah. I like we're so close up we can see like the stubble on Palpatine's face. Oh, that's another good piece of music.
Also, the design of the like Wookiee ships and things are so good.
Yeah, they're very naturalistic looking, and I like also that when they designed Kashyyyk, it looks like how it looks in the holiday special. Like they actually went back to Ralph McQuarrie's art and they were like, "Yeah, this is what it should look like. We got it right the first time. No, there's no one perfecting it."
Well, it's kind of like the Ewoks, but with like more tech.
Also, it's weird. It's also weird seeing Yoda and Chewbacca being together.
Well, and frickin' Chewbacca would have met Anakin technically because he would have seen him there on the council because he's standing in the background. Like he would have seen him there.
Yeah, that's true.
Does Chewbacca ever face Darth Vader?
Like
he would have
from
never
a distance
seen him in person.
He would see him like as he's like running away from him and A New Hope and
but like he never actually like really like was face to face with him or anything.
No, not really.
Or I guess in Empire.
In Empire, yeah, when he meets him at the dinner. Yeah, but Like it takes 3 people of the council to decide something.
Yeah, no one else in the council gets to vote.
No
or
one said
speak.
anything else. No one.
Woo!
It's also really impressive because they had like about 6 actual people dressed up as Wookiees and to film most of this, and then the rest of them are like some CGI, especially like in the very far background. It holds up really well, I think.
Yeah, these tank things too are really neat.
They're a cool design because they look like snails almost. A lot of the separatist stuff looks like animals, I find.
I like that they get the Tarzan yell as the
Yeah.
the subtitles. It even says Tarzan yell.
Yeah. They could have killed Yoda.
Hey, there's Cody in the back. I think maybe.
Yeah, it might be actually. Because he's going to Utapau. Yeah, I forgot how many like actual like deep connection moments there are between these characters.
Well, this movie moves so fast. We're already to Yoda on the Kashyyyk. Obi-Wan's leaving to go get General Grievous.
Yeah.
Like this movie freaking is flying, and we're what, an hour in?
Yeah, we're like 45 minutes, yeah.
Like this movie is moving.
Yeah, what's the other like hour and a half we got left in it?
Well, the last like 20 minutes is them fighting.
That's true, yeah. There's a good like 35 minutes worth of lightsaber fights we gotta get through.
Not get through. I think you mean enjoy.
Yeah, true. Okay,
There
true.
will be no speaking during those. It'll just be us. Ooh.
It's like, ooh, yeah, that's pretty cool. It'll be us saying that holds up like 700 times again. Yeah, the effects look pretty good in this still. That's a good shot. I find they're being more creative with the camera in this movie than they were in the last few.
Yeah, that's true.
They're getting a lot of more like unique shots. Yeah, there we go, Commander Cody. About 30 minutes from now. Oh, look at Coruscant in the background. Looks so beautiful.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
I got these little like escort cars to go with it. It's also interesting that Anakin sees Obi-Wan being with Padme when she dies, not him.
Yeah, right?
Like that's what he would expect, you know? Like I was there for her, but he wasn't. There's also the fact that Obi-Wan's been like hanging out with Padme as well. He's like, oh, something's going on. There are implications here.
You think?
Yeah, there's that chair again. You could have said that a little bit earlier in the trilogy. Maybe when you killed all those children. I'll do it again.
Well, clearly she's into that, so we probably should, you know,
He's like,
save their relationship.
yeah. It's been a little while. Time to kill some kids.
Although I guess that's what he tries to do later on, and it doesn't really work for him.
Yeah.
No wonder he thought
like-
she'd be okay with this.
He told me you were murdering younglings. He's like, he told you that?
Yeah, I told you this originally.
He's like, "Or
This is a new behavior.
Jedi, it's a difference. I don't know.
They're humans?
Some of them were alien.
Yeah, plot twist. Padme's just super xenophobic.
Yeah. It was all right when he killed the aliens, but the
Also, the
humans,
fact that
that's where
that
I
looks
draw
like
the
it's made out of bone, super
line.
interesting.
That's cool. Also, they managed to get a really spooky looking dude to play this guy.
Yeah, it does look spooky.
Yeah. Like, he's got those kind of, like, alien proportions that they kind of accentuate with the costume and the makeup. And the guy who plays him, he plays... he's well known for being in the TV show Farscape, but what you would know him from is he was one of the sharks from Finding Nemo.
Food, friends.
He's not the main one, he's like one of the other ones, you know?
Fish are friends, not food.
Yeah, he's one of those B-tier actors, I think. Does a great job in this movie, though.
Its teeth are horrifying.
Yeah. And George Lucas was very hands-on with the design of these Utapauians. Like, there's a video of him, like, being shown a clay sculpture of it. He, like, just takes a little, like, chisel and just marks out, like, lines on it. He's like, yeah, I imagine it to have these kind of, like, lines going down it. And he, like, actually just alters the, the thing they're working on.
I don't understand how he got out of there.
Yeah,
Like, I get it's through film fuckery, but like
film fuckery. I was gonna say movie magic, but film fuckery works just as well. That's what we should name the podcast. Couldn't have picked a more subtle form of transportation.
Well, and why does he have to go out here and do the whole like dramatic?
Pick the loudest thing he could ride on. Wow, 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 wow. General Grievous, come see me.
It's also interesting that literally all the separatists are aliens.
Yeah, yeah. That kind of speaks volumes almost. like New Gunray's calling out General Grievous on his bullshit.
Well, would General Grievous know that Palpatine and Sidious are one person? Probably not.
I don't think he would know that, no.
That's probably not information that they're going to give him.
Mm-hmm. Maybe he does. I'm sure there might be like an episode of the Clone Wars where they explain that, but like, yeah.
I don't think there is.
I feel like that's something that, yeah. It's hard to gauge who knows and who doesn't. Even though some of these people should probably be able to figure it out. Like, they've like interacted with these people.
Meme win.
Yeah, remember when the internet was just all Star Wars memes?
Yeah, it's all just hello there.
Hello there. Yeah. Merciless. I'm just imagining Count Dooku like training him to do that and just splitting his arms apart.
That's not how someone splits their arms.
Now I'll show you this as a cool trick to defeat a Jedi. His arms rip in half. I think we're gonna struggle to get some shorts out of this one.
Yeah, probably, but that's okay.
Not a whole lot of bits we can do off of this.
I think it's neat, too, the way that General Grievous fights, because it's so different compared to anyone else.
Well, yeah, it kind of has to be, you know.
Oh, I know, but like he's really the only non-Jedi that we ever see fully use lightsabers.
Mm-hmm. That's true, yeah. At least in an offensive way. Because we see like Han Solo use it to cut things, and like we've seen other characters.
Yeah, but I mean like a full like actual.
In a fight, yeah, it's really only times.
Damn, the Republic really showing up in force there.
Yeah. Also, how on earth did all the separatists like escape?
Yeah,
Like,
I
one
don't
of them
know.
on Mustafar, and they were there like literally like 30 seconds earlier, just sitting at
Maybe
tables.
there's like a slight time jump that we don't see.
Oh, there must be. But they must have left immediately, and like the Republic must have let them escape because they were just literally in orbit.
Yeah, I guess.
There was also a really extended version of this, which went on for like a good 10 minutes. They didn't have it like fully rendered or filmed or anything, so it's all like just animatics. But it like this used to be very different. This chase. Like there's one part when him and Grievous are like mowing their way through clones, and Grievous gets on his wheel and starts like doing it in place and like spraying bits of clone body parts at
Oh,
Obi-Wan.
God.
Yeah, like bits of armor and stuff. Yeah, it's
That's probably why they cut it.
yeah. Then George is like, oh, yeah, this might be a bit too far. Yeah.
Cody's like, oh.
Also, the chances that he ends up with it.
Yeah,
Like,
I know. Could have been any other clone.
of the millions of clones, it's him. That's not the kind of reaction I would expect him to have after seeing what happened.
Also, why do they have to give Anakin, like, why do they send Anakin to deliver the report? Like, it's not important. Just send him a message.
Well, they want him to like interact with Palpatine and gain his trust and all that, but they don't know how far that connection is between them. Like, I don't think they realize how much Palpatine's been manipulating Anakin this whole time.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. Also, love that we get those little boards with little lines on it, like we see in the original trilogy. I don't know what they do, but I love that design. But yeah, I get what you mean by he's gotta go there in person to say all this.
Well, and like theoretically, right? Because there's no jumps in the like battle between Obi-Wan and Dooku,
Yeah,
or not Dooku, Grievous.
yeah.
So like, by the time he gets there, the fight between Obi-Wan and Grievous is probably over.
Yeah, probably just about.
Because he's got to walk all the way down, get a ship, then fly over, then talk to him.
Yeah, a lot of this movie takes place in the course of like a day.
Yeah, I know. Like, I get there's probably like off-screen time jumps and things, but like it doesn't make the most sense.
Basically, after Anakin has this conversation with Palpatine and he reveals himself to be a Sith Lord, he goes and talks to Mace Windu about it, and by that point, Grievous is dead and the war is over. Mace Windu shows up and he's like, time to arrest the guy. So, yeah. All this takes place in like an hour max, basically.
It's a very Dune-looking carving in the back.
Yeah, he's like... All his decorations in his apartment just screams evil.
Lisan al-Gaib!
He's Al-Gaib. Also, I just love his costumes. Like, everything Palpatine wears in this movie is fantastic.
Everything Palpatine does is fantastic.
Everything Palpatine is fantastic. This is
This is the main takeaway.
they take away the movie. But yeah, you got to give Trisha bigger credit for all her costume because she sources some pretty interesting fabric to make these costumes. Like everything has this little texture and stuff in it.
The like sash that he's wearing looks like a tablecloth my grandma owns.
Yeah, he's basically wearing curtains. But yeah, considering how much of the sets and stuff aren't real, the costumes they went out of their way on.
Would Palpatine have let Anakin kill him there if he tried to?
Probably not.
Presumably no, but
I would say self-preservation is more important than turning Anakin to the dark side. Although, like, after seeing the Rise of Skywalker and Palpatine having, like, these weird clones and whatever, I'm sure he would have survived just fine if he got his head lobbed off by Anakin in the scene.
Operation Phoenix.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
Again.
Well, he's back.
For the 5th time this year.
He's really playing good cop, bad cop. He's like, oh, yes, yeah, you should do that. Yes, you're right. You're totally right, Anakin.
I mean, if
But,
the Jedi Council was smart, they would have sent Anakin in with a recording device.
They would have brought, they would have been taping these conversations. Did I ever tell you I was an evil Sith Lord?
Could you tuck into my shirt, please?
You're not wearing a wire, are you, Anakin? But I bet the Jedi would still deny it. They'd just be like, well, we don't know if he's actually a Sith Lord. He could just be a good guy saying that. I like how this implies that they've been like writing on these things for like an hour, basically.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Maybe that's where the big deleted scene fits in. Music too, like it's fantastic stuff.
Isn't this the same music from Pod Racing?
I'd have to compare them. It might be very similar.
I don't know how Obi-Wan didn't die from that.
Yeah, he should have broken ribs at least. He takes a beating in this movie. In the deleted scene, Obi-Wan actually rips out his brain and throws it on the ground and then shoots it. And only then does Grievous die.
Yeah, like we're halfway through this movie and Grievous is only about to die.
Yeah.
There's still a whole half a movie left.
Yeah, well, we gotta see the whole Republic fall, Will. It takes a little while for that to happen. Rome didn't collapse in a day.
Except it literally did.
Well, actually, yes. Obi-Wan does a lot of hanging off of things in these movies. I just kind of noticed that. That's kind of a theme. That's an image. I can see why my parents didn't let me watch these movies till I was a little bit older.
Yeah, but they made you wait until you were like 15.
Well, no, no. When I was like really young, all I had was episode 1, and which is pretty tame compared to this.
I don't know. A dude literally gets cut in half.
Yeah, but he doesn't have fire shoot at his eyes.
I guess.
People don't get burned alive. The one that Count Dooku mentioned to Obi-Wan's face. Who said explicitly that he was in charge of the Senate. A Sith Lord is in charge of the Senate. I don't believe you.
Well,
Well,
you're an idiot.
You're an idiot. We've been through all that.
I wonder what would have happened if he'd brought him.
Yeah, sure. Come on. Like, he's not wrong to leave him there. Like, he's obviously biased. Like, Anakin is in no position to be objective in this situation.
So poor Kid Fisto being forced to go.
Yeah. Also, Kit Fisto. Who named that guy?
Kit Fisto.
Yeah.
Someone with some weird kinks.
Yeah. That Venetian blind wipe. Now this is one of my favorite scenes in this movie. Because like nothing happens, but so much happens.
It also is one of the best scores. Oh, the music is beautiful.
I don't remember the narration being there though.
I do.
But I haven't seen this movie in quite a while. So.
And the fact that they put it at like sunset and the light looks so good. It just
This is the best this movie looks, is this scene. Maybe a couple other shots, but like this is an amazing scene. Because it has the weight of this whole trilogy on it.
The music is very reminiscent of the Dune music lately.
Yeah, we're going back to Dune a lot, yeah.
Well, I know, but like I know this movie came out before the like new Dune movies too. So like I'm just like I wonder how much of this like inspired some of the things that they did versus like because I
Maybe
know
a
lots
little
of
bit.
Dune is inspired by Star Wars, obviously, or lots of Star Wars is inspired by Dune. But now like how much of the way that modern Dune is as a film is inspired by Star Wars as a film?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I do wonder.
Like there's got to be some carryover.
There's definitely a little bit of overlap, but
Look at that acting. You're going to tell me that he can't act? He just cried on command.
he's good, yeah, he's good.
And he's like, you really get the sense that they're like thinking, you know?
Also, I haven't mentioned so far, but there's an entire subplot about Padme that was cut out of this in the formation of the rebellion and Mon Mothma and
That would have been neat.
Bail Organa. Yeah, it's all these like little discussions. They're like, well, we should do something before Palpatine just takes over completely. And they're all being secretive, and it's we can't say anything to anybody. And, you know, it's a really interesting subplot that I wish was kept in.
The Senate.
I love the scream he makes when he jumps up. I wonder if he has one of those things in every single one of his shirts. I was watching behind the scenes thing, and Sam Jackson was like, yeah, there's a few times when none of us were paying attention and I actually whacked him a few times with the stick. Because Ian McDiarmid was not really prepared to fight with a lightsaber in this movie. It caught him really by surprise. So they had to like train him really quickly and do everything kind of slowly.
You could definitely see like the points where it's not them and it's other people. Because like the face replacements get a little wonky.
Yeah.
But something I think I remember seeing George Lucas talk about in the behind the scenes is they wanted this fight to be really close-ups.
Yeah.
So that you got to see the actors.
And it works really well because of it.
Yeah.
And it's very fitting too. Like
especially because like this fight, I feel like compared to the end, it's not about being flashy. This one's more about the like moments. It's still got good flashiness to it though.
Yeah. We see as he does like through 3 or 4 backflips and jumps off the wall.
Like, on the whole.
Yeah. It's very personal. And this is like the fight that defines the whole direction of the next movies.
And I feel like no lightsaber fights, even like recently, this one still feels like it has better choreography and better timing and everything.
I'm sure if we broke it down, it might be still pretty flawed, but like
No, it looks good though.
It does, yeah.
Man, if only it took Anakin longer to walk all that distance.
Yeah. Yeah, imagine he shows up and Palpatine does this little backflip thing. He's like, oh, he's definitely weak. He's I'm too weak. I can only do 4 backflips.
Until it does, like, 10 years later.
Yeah. And I wonder who's the bad guy. The guy shooting lightning out of his hands? CGI is a little wonky, I think.
The way they transform his face is a little off.
Mm-hmm. Palpatine for the PS3. The makeup, though, is really good when they actually, yeah. And Ian McDiarmid loves that kind of thing. Like, whenever he gets an opportunity, they're putting makeup on him. I don't like, though, that how quickly he turns into this wrinkled prune. I like the original idea of him gradually, like, degrading into becoming the Emperor at the end of the trilogy, or at the end of the next trilogy. I don't like that he's completely normal up until this point, and then just gets zapped a few times, and then just melts into
into a human puddle.
Yeah, into a brain as a face. How does Anakin still think he's a good guy after he does that?
Yeah.
Psych! Zap!
Mace Windu definitely survived, though.
Oh yeah, totally. He definitely lived that. No way he didn't. He just force healed and he was all good after that.
Yeah, he just literally picked his hand back up, slapped it back on.
It's a bit of flex seal on that.
So many folds.
Yeah. Robot Chicken comparing him to a scrotum doesn't help. I don't think. Also, they get really funky with the voice too.
Yeah, but it sounds cool.
Yeah, they put a lot of modulation on it though for this one scene, and then just never again for the rest of the movie. And I know they explain it as like the mask kind of slipping, like this is Palpatine's true form and all that, but I don't buy it. Because like it's not like when he's like not being, cheery Palpatine, he's like turns into a prune again.
Yeah.
Like all the scenes when he's got the robes on before this, he's just a regular person. Like it's definitely he's just a normal human being. He shouldn't look like this.
Yeah, but the dark side does weird stuff. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, he is chewing the scenery. Gnawing on it. Devouring it.
You shall be known as
Darth Vader. He almost does like a Vader like breath of that.
Anakin probably earned the title of Darth faster than anyone ever in history.
Well,
It also is literally what he wanted, though, because, like, Darth is the, like, master title for the Sith, right?
Pretty much.
So he's, like, being made a master, like, instantly, which is kind of what he wanted.
Yeah. Also, I love that Palpatine's got his hidden robes in his office.
Yeah, he just puts another robe on.
That's when he does all his communiques to the Trade Federation people and all that. He looks so ghoulish. He looks like a sleep paralysis demon.
Yeah, the eyes are creepy.
Yeah. This is the scariest Palpatine has ever looked. And I'm including when he's like a freaking corpse in Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, but he's like barely a corpse in Rise of Skywalker. He looks more corpse-like here.
He ain't got no fingers, Will.
Yeah, but that's just fingers. Who needs fingers?
He's got the weird lightning. Yeah, they very deliberately like parallel Nazi Germany with all this stuff. It's like first we take over, then we kill everyone who opposes us, and then we're in charge. But they do it like overnight.
Well, yeah, even like, how does Anakin go get to 501st so quickly? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, with the logistics.
Like, how do they mobilize that?
They're just on site the whole time.
Well, and even the clones were like, yeah, this makes sense.
Because it's before he actually gives the command for Order 66. He just does it.
No, I think he does it here.
No, I think Anakin starts doing it before.
No, I don't think so.
Well, here, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, well, I guess we're gonna find out pretty quick. I mean, he's not wrong. They technically had peace for quite a while.
Yeah, but peace by force is not peace.
No.
See?
Yeah, you're right. This is probably my favorite piece of music.
It's good, yeah.
The Temple March. And incorporating the actual like clones marching into the score.
Mm-hmm. The cinematography too, it's really good.
Like that's a baller shot.
Mm-hmm.
And the cross cutting with all the different battles and like it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. This is brutal.
Doesn't someone go punch a droid in the background of this?
Somewhere, yeah. Maybe we'll make a short out of that. There's so many little details like that, where it's like little droids like talking to each other or like people fighting each other. Wonder why he takes his helmet off for that.
I don't know, respect for the conversation?
Maybe. Must be.
See, I think Order 66 and him storming the temple are
They're parallel, yeah.
congruently.
But like Anakin had to convince all those troops to go like march into the palace to do that, you know?
Well, maybe Palpatine told them just like be like, "Hey, execute Order 60."
Yeah, tell him 65. Yeah.
Because 65 is attack the temple.
Attack the
66 is the rest of the Jedi.
Yeah, kill everyone abroad, yeah.
See, Obi-Wan survives this. Obviously, Mace Windu lives from his injuries.
No! Also, there's an extended version of this. Also in kind of just animatic form. But it shows Quinlan Voss getting killed. He gets like run over by one of those big rolling tank things, I think.
I think I've seen that.
Yeah. And also Barriss Offee gets killed in Order 66.
Well, that doesn't really work.
That doesn't fit continuity at all anymore. One, because she's still a Jedi, and
Well,
two,
there goes everyone's new favorite Jedi.
Oh, there's everyone's favorite 200-year-old. Yeah. The internet's favorite guy. This is actually the same still. Actually, I think she has one line before she gets killed in the animatic, and then they do it. But in this, she just doesn't say anything.
Well, I saw something that, like, in Legends, this planet apparently was, like, an actual hellscape, which is why they're, like, the most brutal in killing her.
Yeah, this is overkill.
Because they all hated her.
Yeah.
Yoda's like, oh.
But also they show in the animatic him, like, Yoda watching Luminara Unduli get murdered as well, and he just doesn't do anything. He just does, like, drops his cane, he's like, oh, I feel so old.
Great disturbance in the Force there is. Do nothing about it, I will.
Stand here and look sad, I will.
Depressed I have become.
Time for retirement it is.
Learn to let go, I shall.
See how it feels, Yoda? Also, there's just dead clones everywhere. I never noticed that.
Wee.
Yeah, one of those things, I think.
Yeah, those tank things.
Or one of those walking ones. I don't remember which one it was specifically. I'll throw a clip in. A lot of decapitation in this movie. More than any other Star Wars movie, I think. If we were to do the math.
Chewbacca's like, Yeah, also wild detail that Chewbacca was present during Order 66 with Yoda.
He helped Yoda escape a genocide. He carried him on his back. And Han's still just I don't believe in the Force. Master Skywalker, what are we gonna do?
Many of them. What are we going to do? Oh.
He looks so pained to do this too.
The little step back too.
I like how he has a reaction no one else does.
Yeah, everyone else is like, what?
And you see C-3PO to kind of lighten the mood a little bit.
Yeah, the fact that Padme sees the temple on fire too.
Yeah. And she can act too. She doesn't really.
She's not given a whole lot in this movie.
No. And Natalie Portman doesn't really look highly upon the Star Wars movies she did, but she did a good job. Like, I'll say that.
Yeah, the temple is like real on fire.
Yeah. Like, how do you even manage that? Like, how do you burn down this building so quickly? Also, Bail Organa just like going there in person
Is
like
wild. That's an insane thing to do.
He is committed. Shout out to this guy. I think he's another one of George Lucas's kids or relatives or something.
Well, I mean, from Bail Organa's perspective, he was told that there was a rebellion. Then all of a sudden, a Jedi comes out and starts killing clones, trying to get to you.
Yeah.
You may not be wrong. Like, the clones may be right that there is a rebellion.
Yeah, something fishy's going on.
Like, I'm not saying that, like, obviously Bail Organa doesn't believe them, but, like, there's no reason for him to not believe them either.
Yeah.
Which is why it's also kind of weird, you know?
Also, you'd think he'd go to, like, the burning temple with, like, a gun, maybe.
Yeah.
You know?
Or security.
Security. Yeah, somewhat like one of his many, many followers. Those little Alderaan soldiers with little hats and little blue vests.
I don't understand, too, why the clones just start turning on the Wookiees.
Yeah, you'd think they would have.
Like, the Wookiees and them should still be on good terms.
Yeah.
Unless, like, the Wookiees decided to rebel because they tried to kill Yoda.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, I feel like his relationship with the Wookiees can't be that good.
Yeah. Well, Yoda's got a better relationship with the Wookiees. Even said so. This feels like fan fiction. Seeing this. Like some little kid in the 80s was like, man, it'd be so cool if like Chewbacca and Yoda met. They'd be best friends.
George was like, yeah, makes my neck beard tingle.
Yeah.
Made my sprunger.
So there's always a missed opportunity that Chewbacca and Yoda didn't ever interact.
Oh, look at those capes.
Oh, beautiful. And two, they also recreated the set from A New Hope, like, perfectly.
Yeah, almost for no reason.
I like how Bail Organa got changed between those scenes.
Yeah, well, obviously, look who his kid is.
Because he shit his pants when he did that. He was so terrified.
How did Obi-Wan sneak that closely in? Mm-hmm. Or, like, even here, why did the clones, like, start taking all the Utapauans, like, prisoner? There's no reason for them to do that.
There must be an extension to Order 66 where it's just oppress all the people in the galaxy.
Yeah, like, I don't know.
Kill Jedi, any allies, imprison them. But also no one bothered to clean up the corpse on the, on the landing pad.
No one thought to go there and, like, actually check.
Yeah. Years ago, your father served me in the Clone Wars, and
so many weird wipes.
Yeah. Also, C-3PO and R2 gonna have a little discussion about what happened.
Yeah, until C-3PO trips and falls off the edge of that balcony.
There's some behind the scenes footage of Anthony Daniels not having a good time in that suit, just tripping and breaking through all the scaffolding. And then I saw the Chancellor shoot lightning out of his fingers and launch
after
Master
I cut his arm off.
After I hacked off Master Windu's arm, I saw him get launched out a window with an electric blast. And he's dead now. And then I went and killed all the younglings. So yeah, the Jedi are definitely the bad guys. She's like, oh, Anakin, why do you speak so romantically to me? Obi-Wan Shmobi-Wan. I don't know.
Obi-Wan Shmobi-Wan. Shmobi-Wan Kenobi.
Shmobi-Wan Kenobi. Hello there.
Shmobi-Wan Shmobiness.
Shmobi Dick.
You would think that Padme would be called by Bail Organa, her best friend, to be like, yo, you gotta get the fuck out of there.
Well, yeah, especially with like the subplot that's unfortunately not in the movie, where they're like having these secret meetings and talking to each other. Yeah, you'd think. I don't know, I guess she's not thinking with her head.
But I guess the power of love.
The power of love. The power within. The power within. Also, there was a visual effects artist that had to like digitally erase all the reflections out of C-3PO.
That'd be a pain in the ass.
Especially in this scene because he's like walking towards the camera. Oh, there we go. Blockade runner.
I'm more of a hammerhead man myself.
Actually, I prefer the Republic cruiser rather than the... Shut up.
Kill yourself.
Yeah. Also, the fact that General Grievous' ship is docked with the Tantive 4 is
Wild.
Another bit of wild. Also, Yoda's on the Tantive 4, where all of A New Hope starts. Yoda just walking around in the hallway 20 years
Well,
before.
presumably, Bail Organa still has that ship that landed there.
Bail Organa just takes Grievous' ship out for a joyride. Him and Leia just go for rides in it.
Yeah, Yoda there looks a little off. I don't know what it is about him. He doesn't look like he fits this scenario.
Mm-hmm. Also, cutting from that to literal hell.
Yeah.
Is quite the thought.
Those alien guys have the worst job ever.
Yeah. You are looking more wrinkly today, Mr. Sidious.
Same to you, Viceroy. Why have you become green? You used to be grey.
I am molting. Soon I will form a chrysalis. I'm exiting my larval stage.
You know how you know Star Wars isn't like Earth?
How?
No satellites.
Yeah. There's no space junk.
Yeah. Although I guess presumably once you get spaceships, you clean up all the space junk.
Yeah, you'd think. But yeah, you don't really see like space stations either.
No, and you would
Besides,
think
like,
there
the
would be
Death Star,
one.
Yeah. We get that little outpost later on in this movie on that asteroid, but that's about it.
No, but you would think there'd be like lots of space, like there'd just be lots of stuff orbiting Coruscant.
Yeah. Another mention of the Congress for some reason. There's like this line, and then there's that like part in the opening crawl of Phantom Menace. But every other time they've been consistent about calling it the Senate.
Maybe someone was ad-libbing.
Frank Oz just forgot his notes.
Mustafar does look really good.
Mm-hmm. I like that they actually filmed like volcano eruptions
Yeah.
as part of this. Sup, dude?
I never noticed that there's those two guys literally just standing there watching him walk away.
Yeah, you'd think there'd be some security at the secret separatist headquarters. Man, Anakin just gets to like walk right in. I guess Palpatine told him that he had an apprentice coming, but
Well, what I find interesting is based on the Clone Wars TV show too. Anakin literally went to Darth Sidious's secret base on Mustafar. Like he's not connecting some dots of like maybe this here Chancellor guy's not so good.
yeah.
Based on the experiences that I've had in my past.
I think he by this point he knows that Palpatine's been up to some shady shit, and that like he thinks it like justifies all this stuff, justifies saving Padme. but I guess not. Now, originally those were going to be clones, but disguised as Jedi.
Yeah, I've seen
which
that.
I think is pretty stupid.
They are that way in the Lego
In
Star
the Lego
Wars
video
game.
game, yeah. I like this scene too, where they're talking. Even though it's kind of strange that Bail Organa went into the Naboo pod instead of staying with the Alderaan pod. Imagine just saying something like that and getting an applause.
Yes, we just killed all the Jedi.
Clap, 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 clap. Woo! Woo! Yeah! I support you all the way. And people say Star Wars isn't political.
You would assume that
Maybe the Sith Lord you guys have been talking about for 30 years.
Yeah.
Or Anakin, one of the two.
You just cut Poggle the Lesser in half.
Zow! Ka-chow! But he chases Wat Tambor around there like a Benny Hill skit.
Until he just chucks his lightsaber at him.
Flings it across the table and slices him in half. Force pulls it back. Fuck you, Jello Man.
First Galactic Empire.
A lot of these pods are empty, actually. If you look at them.
Yeah, they are. They probably just got lazy.
All the ET people oppose the Empire. They refuse to show up. That's, I think, probably one of my favorite lines in the prequels. That thunderous applause line. I like how he saved him for last.
Well, Newt Gunray literally caused all of Anakin's trouble as a child.
Yeah. This is a little subplot I always forget about. Them just messing around with the signals of the Jedi, all flee and all that.
Yeah, that's true.
Because it's not something that ever gets like brought up again.
Disappointed you will be. Warned you I did.
I like how it implies that Palpatine went there after all of it happened.
You didn't watch very much, did you?
He saw the highlights. He just like typed into YouTube. He's like, Jedi Temple sacking compilation, best of 2020 edit. Eyeline's not really lining up on that shot. He's like looking above him.
It's not very helpful.
Could you be more specific?
Yoda gives the worst advice to people.
No.
Star Wars and their lack of railings. Also, imagine having a room that big just open to nothing. Just like any time it rains, you're just ruining all this furniture. This guy got curtains. That's good enough.
It's actually like it's weird that Padme would even consider talking to Obi-Wan.
Mm-hmm.
Because like from her perspective, like presumably Bail Organa talked to her about what had happened for him.
Yeah.
But like the man she loves and trusts literally showed up and was like, yo, I literally watched Mace Windu try to kill the Chancellor.
Yeah.
And like from her perspective, there's no reason why Anakin would lie to her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But there is a reason why Obi-Wan would lie to her.
Mm-hmm. In her mind, yeah.
So I get why, like, us watching, we understand why she would talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, from her perspective, it makes zero sense to even entertain it. Like, she should probably be like, there's a Jedi here.
Mm-hmm. But Anakin also keeps it really vague, so when Obi-Wan shows up and he's like, oh yeah, he was killing younglings and also did all this other bad stuff, it kind of hits her a little harder.
Maybe, but you would even think then that, like, Anakin would leave, like, clones around her to protect her or something?
She's got R2 and C-3PO.
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
Actually, no, R2's on Mustafar.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
R2's watching the Separatists all get assassinated.
Nah, he's outside. He doesn't see that.
Oh, he's just chilling with those two dudes with the shovels or whatever.
Yeah, he's talking to them about their workday.
He's scooping magma.
He's helping them.
Yeah. Just piecing that together now, Sherlock?
He's huge brain.
Well, he's only got part of a brain. I forgot. We had this discussion earlier.
He got taken out by Count Dooku.
Count Dooku, yeah.
Count
Dooku. Surgical genius, Count Dooku.
Surgical.
Damn, Morris. Look at the Peter Griffin stance. The Techno Union. Wow, just worse than that time I was on Mustafar.
You would think Anakin would leave Mustafar pretty quickly. Like, there's no reason why him to stay there.
Yeah, why is he? Maybe he's just feeling sad. He just wants to, I don't know.
Be sad?
Be sad, yeah. But clearly he told Padme where he was going.
I know, but like, you would think after he did it, he would just come right back.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no reason for him to stay there.
Dramatic effect.
Yeah, I get that. From a filmmaking standpoint, sure.
Yeah. Also, I love that C-3PO is tagging along to this.
Yeah, someone's got to drag her around.
Oh, that's right. Someone's got to pilot the ship. I like that that implies that C-3PO, over the course of the prequels, learned to fly. And then when they erased his mind, he just started hating flying.
Or Anakin programmed him to like flying and they unprogrammed him too.
They just set him to default mode and he just became a bitch.
Actually, that makes sense why he would be programmed to not read the Sith scriptures, because he was then reprogrammed by like actual technicians who would wipe him with probably some data set that would enforce that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I shouldn't laugh at the corpses, but I find them really funny because I've never paid attention to them before. They're all like in these weird poses.
Well, they're just left on the floor. Like, you would think you'd move them or get someone else to move them, or
yeah, I got a droid to do it or something.
Or he'd have just left Coruscant.
Yeah.
Like, instantly. Like, there's no reason for him to stay.
Mm-hmm. Also, what a place to try to convince your wife that you're doing the good thing.
Actual
like
hell?
Nightmare hellscape. I'm a good guy, actually. Really. Really. Oh, return to that little love theme.
C-3PO is moving around a lot for no reason.
Fucking twitchy as fuck. Alrighty, Anthony, you just landed the ship. Oh my, I must... Oh, look where we are. I am in hell. See, because this is our opportunity to try to like get the right narrative.
I guess.
This is what Obi-Wan told me. Please tell me it's not true. And he's like, well,
50-50. Yeah.
He's exaggerating a little bit. It only killed a couple of younglings. The clones did most of that. No Sand people are ever going to kidnap you and tie you to a stick. This is a bit overkill, Anakin. I know there's a war going on, but you didn't need to conquer the galaxy. For my sake. No more Jedi means no more Jedi rules. It means I get to fuck all the time. I can do whatever I want now. I'm in charge of the Jedi Council, bitch.
I am the council.
I am the council. Does 5 backflips.
Yeah, this dialogue is a little gross.
You're just noticing that now. Not after when he came back from the temple and it was on fire in the horizon. And you're just like, Yeah, no, he's still the same Anakin I always knew. Worst opportunity for him to show up. He could probably do a little bit more to save her, Obi-Wan.
Well, he spoke to him forcefully.
yeah, but he didn't use the Force. Get that Force push and just launch him off the edge of the cliff. Or, I don't know, do that little speed dash you did in the Phantom Menace. Pull out your lightsaber.
Zoom.
Cut off the hand.
Although technically you wouldn't need the hand for a force choke.
Cut off the head.
You should have gone for the head. Snap. Peace, freedom, justice, and security to my new empire.
Your new empire?
Don't make me kill you.
Anakin, my allegiance is to the Republic, to democracy.
If you're not with me, then you're my enemy.
Only a Sith deals in absolutes.
That was an absolute, you fool. You're the Sith Lord.
I will do what I must. Kazow!
Aye. No! And thus began the greatest duel in all of Star Wars ever.
The real Duel of Fates.
That will literally never be topped because Disney is inept at creating fight scenes.
Mm-hmm.
I saw something funny that behind the scenes that Hayden Christensen, when he came back for Ahsoka, was literally so fast and so good at fighting with a lightsaber that he had to slow down for everyone else around him because they were all so terrible.
Doesn't surprise me.
Like, he was literally that good that they couldn't keep up, so they had to slow down the choreography because of how quick he was.
I can believe that.
Which is funny because he's fighting Ahsoka, who's his apprentice, right?
Yeah.
So he's literally the master versus the apprentice because he's just that much better.
Well, he's also had way more training than they would.
Well, exactly, though. Yeah. Like, it's the difference between how good he is versus how terrible everyone else is now. It's because they spent real time learning and, like, doing it.
Well, that's what happens when you spend 3 years to make a movie instead of 1.
Like, there's so many hours of you watching them, like, practice this.
Mm-hmm.
And didn't they even make up parts of it?
Probably. That wouldn't surprise me.
I like the part where you, like, they go. I like the hallway part because then you see it like cutting through all the walls and things.
Yeah,
It's a
it's
cool
pretty good.
detail.
New gunnery. Also, these guards that probably doesn't care about.
Well, presumably they're just clones.
Well, maybe not, but because they show up before the clones show up in Attack of the Clones.
That's true.
Yoda breaking the fourth wall with that stare.
Get here, how did I?
Bounty. I have.
Yoda's just one of those little Bruce Lee little like,
Aw.
come at me, bro, hand gestures.
I like that he just laughs through the whole fight.
Yeah. Back with the choking again.
Ewan McGregor's got some serious flexibility to be able to pull that one off.
Yeah. How did they end up on the table?
Oh.
No. Now, in one of the deleted scenes, there's a bit more to this fight in the Senate room. They have those little camera droids going around,
Yeah.
and the entire roof of it is camera screens, showing like different angles to the fight. Really cool visual, but
Probably not that practical to actually make.
no. And also something that they kind of never set up in the other movies when showing the Senate, so it kind of feels
Out of place.
out of place. Yeah. That's one little part where I think that lets the movie lets us down in the choreography department when they're just spinning and nothing's happening.
Well, the way I always thought about it, right, is that they both have the Force.
Yeah.
And the Force allows you to see the future.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're in a fight, you're, like, instantly able to predict what your, like, the opponent is going to do.
Yeah.
So they're both trying to psych each other out for the moment that they actually are going to attack.
Yeah.
Because, like, at a certain point, you're just going to start trying shit because the other person is just foreseeing the future.
Yeah, they can anticipate it. Yeah.
Which is why, like, lightsaber fights feel so different compared to any other fight, is because you're a space fucking wizard who can see the future.
Yeah.
So if you can see the future for a couple of moments in a fight, then you know where their opponent is attacking, and then you can kind of just sense that out.
Yeah.
Because they're not actively thinking about it, but the Force, like, guides them, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. That's the way I always thought about it, is you're just, like, at a certain point, you're just like, okay, well, I've got to try something. So it's just, like, a big flurry to fake them out.
Yeah.
I wonder how Chancellor Palpatine explained all the damage to the Senate.
The attempt on my life has left the Senate scarred and deformed. Probably some janitor's got to come in. He's like, "Yeah, sorry, dude. This little green goblin man was fighting me, and just got out of hand." I don't know why that was so funny. I think it's how low his hand was when he did it. Like, he pulled out a little gun and shot him almost.
That's gotta hurt.
Oh, yeah.
Also, how sharp are Yoda's claws, nails to be able to do that?
Yeah. Scratching the metal of the... That was almost like a Sam Raimi, like,
Yeah.
scratching thing. That's a George Lucas inclusion if I've ever seen one.
That moment of the fight always reminded me of Pirates of the Caribbean. Because they're both fighting with one hand while balancing.
Oh, like balancing? Yeah, yeah. No, that's very, very reminiscent.
Such a good shot.
Oh, yeah. Now, I will point out, Yoda doesn't have his robe. But later on, he'll have a robe.
Well, he got a new one.
Where?
Fresh robe. I don't know. He packed it.
Yeah, robes.com. Like, does Bail Organa have one on his ship? The little child-sized robe?
Well, Yoda probably packed some things after they left the Jedi Temple. He's like, let me take these with me. So he probably brought some clothes.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe there is a little shuttle pod that he had.
Like he presumably he had clothes from Kashyyyk as well.
Okay, maybe. It's weird that this is the point of the fight that Palpatine senses Anakin's in danger.
I don't know.
Because he's not.
It's the way that space and time works.
I guess so.
I always like the detail, too, from watching behind the scenes as a kid, that they had different versions of their robes for how burnt they were by the end of the fight.
Yeah, yeah.
So, like, they start off like, oh, yeah, they were good. And then they slowly get more and more, like, burn marks in them from the lava falling.
Well, yeah, it's a wonderful attention to detail that these movies have.
Oof.
Like, say what you will about the prequels, but, like, they're good for continuity on that kind of thing.
Yeah. And, like, the visuals, it all holds up. Because, like, as weird as kind of Yoda looks, he looks pretty flawless.
Yeah.
It's not, like, perfect in some lighting situations, but for the most part, he's fine.
He looks good for a almost 20-year-old CGI creature.
Yeah, exactly. And Jimmy Schmitz hasn't aged a fucking day.
Yeah. He still looks pretty good.
Also known as Mr. Santiago from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah. Yeah, I think his beard's gone a little gray in later years, but
Well, yeah, his hair and everything.
Besides that,
he does
like,
look actually older if you see him now, but I mean, he doesn't look that much older considering how old this movie is.
Yeah.
Anakin's like, oh shit.
He's doing a Tarzan thing. That's the place he decides to land on.
I like that Anakin essentially makes that jump blind.
Yeah. He lands on the poor droid. Hey, that's a sentient being he's riding upon.
Yeah, basically.
Look at it. It's trembling in fear.
It's like, oh. Why did it even fly up to the thing? He's like, the droid knew. He's like, oh, I gotta make this into cinematic fight.
Gotta do my part for the Empire. Yeah, Anakin is so, like, incredibly wrong with that assertion. It's like, yeah, the Jedi are taking over. I know it. It's like, no.
You were there. You knew what they were going to try to do.
Yeah. Sure, they didn't like Palpatine. Maybe they're going to assassinate him. I don't know. But they were going to take over the Republic. Like, yeah, he's got a point. The Jedi are very shifty, but like,
Yeah, but they're not.
they're not evil.
No, and they weren't really trying to take over.
No. He's got the high ground. It's over.
I never understood why that was such a big deal. Like, he probably could have fought him walking up the hill.
Yeah, I could have.
Or just gotten off and walked around. It's not like Obi-Wan's going to really stop him.
Yeah, I think in a regular fight, having the high ground would be a good thing. But when you can jump over a guy on the high ground, yeah. Oh, he's got those yellow Sith eyes. They've come back.
Come on, Bananakin.
Yeah. That's a good line reading. I like that. Especially a little bit of spit that came out. Give him one of those Dune compliments.
Lisan al-Gaib gives water.
Spit on that thing. It's gonna date this video, isn't it?
How has no one made that joke for Dune?
Someone probably has. It just hasn't blown up yet. That's a short right there.
Yeah, like have that cut to then just him going, Lisan al-Gaib! Yeah, freaking C-3PO and R2-D2 just dragging Padme on there.
They like have to be their doctors. Just turns into like a really shitty episode of MASH. Oh my, she is not going to live.
Asking him if Anakin's after you just watched him catch on fire is not very good.
Yeah, Obi-Wan's just like, oh my god, I can't tell her that, can I? He's probably hoping she dies so he doesn't have to like break the news to her. They cut him to pieces.
Yeah, I literally cut off his arm and leg.
Left him to die.
And then I let him dip himself into a literal river of lava.
There's C-3PO piloting again. Although his hands aren't on the controls. They're just outstretched. That's cool with the shadow going over everything.
That is a neat detail.
The shadow of the Empire. Symbolic. The curtains are blue, Will. Like if Palpatine went there in person. He's already settled into like the episode 6 robes. He's just gonna wear those for the next 40 years.
Yeah, basically.
I found my style. Time to force heal you. Or
Yeah,
so
right.
Or so the new lore says.
Oh. Man, this movie moves at a breakneck pace.
I kind of wish they still had that scene with Qui-Gon in it, where he talks to Yoda through the Force.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Although I feel like that would feel like it came out of nowhere, you know? So yeah, it does rain on Coruscant. So Padme's apartment's ruined now.
Some massive lightning strikes in the background.
Yeah.
I don't think it's good to have rain on third-degree burns.
Yeah.
Try harder, perhaps? Also, it's a good thing that there's just this, state-of-the-art medical outpost on this random asteroid.
Yeah, just middle of nowhere. There's this. Well, I guess it's not that state of the art if they can't save her.
No, I guess not.
I like how the medical room's shaped like the Imperial logo. Like Palpatine's like rebranding like immediately. Yeah, so this movie's got what? Obi-Wan, Yoda, Palpatine, Vader, Chewbacca, Luke, Leia, R2-D2, C-3PO,
Darth Vader.
Darth Vader, Owen and Beru Lars.
Yep.
Fuck, it's got everyone except Han Solo in this.
Yeah.
It's so weird. And they all like interact in weird ways too. I'm sure there's some other people in here too. Oh, it's got Captain Antilles is in this as well. We'll see him later. This is a cool shot as well. I like that. And you can see the air go out his mouth too as well. Watch. Blows the dust away.
I think it's smoke.
Just whatever.
Well, it's probably actually cinematic haze.
Cinematic haze, yeah.
Well, it is probably what it would be.
It's Palpatine and his 12,000 cigarettes. So he's watching it very nervously. Oh, I hope he lives.
He's just chain smoking.
I need my voice to sound evil.
And as Vader is born, Padme dies. Hey Yoda, you want to hold a kid? No.
He really switched his voice over to James Earl Jones real quick.
Real quick, yeah. It's built into the suit.
Yeah.
What a bit of poetic justice. That Anakin is the reason his own visions came true. He's just like, oh shit.
You know how expensive these medical droids were? Gonna owe me for the rest of your life.
This facility literally cost me billions of Republic credits.
Republic dactaries? Credit and good here. Only Imperial money.
I like how they take the time to drop off Padme's body on Naboo.
Yeah, that's actually weird.
Yeah. Then, bear here at space or whatever. Just shoot out an airlock. Isn't that the most obvious thing we could do?
Shouldn't we
So
send him
obvious.
literally anywhere else?
So obvious. Not guess he will.
Hate saying he does.
Well, do they even know that Vader's alive? They must at this point.
Yeah, I guess.
If they're like talking about hiding the kids.
Well, because they say Sith,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
Unless they're hiding them from Palpatine or whatever. I like how they had Bail Organa leave the room. So he's like, we can't let him know that there's life outside of this one.
Darkness there is only for him.
No, the Force he does not. When he dies, permanent it will be. Unless, of course, we retcon that.
See there, Captain Antilles. Looking absolutely nothing like he does in the next movie.
Well, he ages quite a bit, you know? Because there's like, what, 20 years between the end of this
19
movie?
years, yeah.
Yeah. Pretty sick funeral.
Yeah, literally everyone is there. There's her parents from the deleted scenes, so no one knows who they are. Jaja and Busnas.
This a use of fault.
This is a use of fault.
Use of grant him emergency powers.
Hey, it's Soil Bibble. The death toll is catastrophic. It's such a poor snippet.
Yeah, they really moved over to like TIE fighters real quick too.
Well, those aren't technically TIE fighters, but yeah.
No, but the sound for them and
Yeah.
everything.
Also the uniforms too. They're just like,
Yeah, like they really worked quickly.
like we're just fascists.
And they
now.
moved away from clothes. None of those are clothes. All the clothes are out of jobs already.
And there's Tarkin. Not made out of CGI, but with about 10 pounds of makeup on some guy's face. Which honestly I kind of prefer. I like how he looks, even though he looks like a Dick Tracy villain.
Looks like Vic Van Dyke.
Yeah. And here we go. We get to see Alderaan for the first time.
Looks real nice. Although that city looks tiny.
Yeah. I do like that in Kenobi they stuck really close to this design of Alderaan. Like they're pretty consistent with that. Despite ruining any other bits of lore.
If only Kenobi was actually a good show.
There was potential, Will.
Yeah, and it was wasted.
I've seen the edit. I've seen the cut down version. It's okay. it's I won't say it's good, but it's okay. This is the Princess Leia's theme.
For being a brand new baby, her eyes are wide open.
Well, they had to have the funeral and everything, so it's been a few days. See, these are the shots I was telling you about that they filmed when they were making the movie. I don't think this specifically. I think when they like go and walk over by the wall or whatever, but yeah. I like because there are like no supplies at all.
Here's a baby.
Here's a baby. Hope you got formula or something. Like no diapers, no clothes or anything. Just here's a baby, here's a blanket. Fend for yourselves.
Not even some Republic credits.
Nothing. Hopefully they don't just eat the kid or something. And this shot here lines up really well with a shot in A New Hope. Like it's actually like the exact same framing.
Well, we did it. That's all of Star Wars.
Yeah, there was never any other Star Wars
There's
ever
never
made.
Star Wars ever again.
Only 6 movies. There was never any TV shows. There was never any specials. Nothing.
I'm sure we'll get to the sequels eventually, but we're on to bigger and better things.
Yep.
Book order Bond movies.
Yep, that's the next up. Which is going to be a crazy ass order.
Yeah, this is not going to work.
This is not a good introduction to that franchise, but you're going to go on that experience, Will.
I've watched Bond movies before. It's not
But
an
not in this
introduction. No, not in this order.
This is the cursed timeline.
All right, thank you for enjoying Star Wars.
If you enjoyed it.
If anyone has watched every single minute of all of these, you wasted your time. Get a new hobby.
Yeah, thanks, my loyal fans, for wasting your time. Well, that's it. Bye-bye.